Floors and More has been selling, installing, and servicing homeowners throughout Western Kentucky with quality flooring and workmanship. Perry's Floors and More carries luxury vinyl plank and luxury vinyl tile, carpet, window treatments, and more. Brands like Mannington, Shaw, Tarkett, Beaulieu, and Flexitech. Quality brands, excellent customer service, combined with 40 years experience is why they say you can walk on our reputation. See Bill and Lucy at Perry's Floors and More, 127 West Market Street, Princeton.
All right, we're back with Coffee Talk. It's a beautiful, sunshiny 39 degrees out there at 8:24. Lynn, we are joined this morning by Recycling Center Director Lynn Williams. Is that
coordinator?
Coordinator. That's your title. Okay, let's get that microphone up there so we can hear you. There we go. He pushed the microphone away from him. It's not really how we do it here, Lynn.
We kind of want to hear me.
We kind of want to get the microphone into you. But anyway, good morning. Thank you for coming.
Good morning.
I appreciate you coming in this morning. So, Lynn, let's talk a little bit about the Recycling Center in Princeton. Just give me some general information about it.
We're open Monday through Friday from 7 to 3:30. We're open 8 to 2 on Saturdays. We accept cardboard, plastic, such as household plastic, anything from water bottles to laundry detergent bottles or anything like that. We really don't have a market for any kind of sheet plastic or plastic bags and things like that. That's a totally different market than what we're into. We accept any kind of paper, whether it be hardback books, notebooks, office paper, newspaper, junk mail, anything as far as paper. We do take electronics. We do have a small fee for that because it costs us any more to get rid of it. We do accept any type of scrap metal. As far as that, there's no charge for that. We do not buy anything. We are free to the public, so we don't buy anything, but all the money that is made goes back into the county. So we do accept aluminum cans, steel cans, anything like that, anything you'd use around the home. Now we do accept oil, any kind of used oil, we take that and everything, as long as it don't have anything in it, such as gasoline or water or anything like that. Our oil is used, it goes to the county garage, and they have an oil heater that heats their shop, and that's what they use the oil for. So the oil is reused here in the county and things. We do all illegal dump sites, so if you find where somebody's dumped something on the side of the road or on your property or whatever, we do take care of that. We do the county road cleanup. We have a group of people right now that's going around cleaning up all the county roads. We get a grant for that, which is called a litter or bait grant. And so we do clean up all the county and state roads within Caldwell. So, just kind of watch for them and things. They are out now working. So if you see somebody walking up and down the road that's picking up trash, just be aware that they do work for us and everything. They work on contract labor and things, and they really do a good job. I've had a lot of people in the county talk about how well they do and things. But that's basically what we do. We do not clean up property. If you've dumped stuff on your property, we do deal with illegal property and things like that. If as far as if you got a bunch of stuff piled up and this and that, and it's not supposed to be there, we do deal with it, with things of that nature. But I have had an issue where people has bought property and has found where the last landowner has done, which they did years ago. That's what people done, and we don't really clean that up. That would be up to the landowner, to clean it up,
Years ago, what people did? You said that's what people.
Well, years ago, before you really had recycling or landfills and different things, a lot of people on their farm would just take it back there and throw it in a sinkhole or throw it in a gully or,
I'm with you. Okay.
Years and years ago. So there's still some of them places out there,
But that's not your responsibility.
That's not my responsibility to clean that up,
Gotcha.
and things. So actually, I'm not allowed on anybody's property. unless you allow me to be on anybody's property. I do not have that kind of authority, and things. So, the only thing that I can do is what I can see from the road. So I'm not allowed. I don't have the authority to walk on your property and say you got to clean that up,
right,
and things. But but if you complain about your neighbor, I'm still not allowed to go on their property. But if I can see it from the road, that's one thing.
And that's where code enforcement comes in. If
Yeah,
they need to get
that's
on the
where
property,
code
yeah.
enforcement comes in, or the health department, or things like that. If it's something, we have dealt with places where people has piled trash up and things. And I work a lot with Josh Ramage. Josh is a real good guy, and he can go and look at it. Of course, he
Now,
works through the state,
who
through
is-
the health department.
Okay.
And so, if it's something of that nature that could be a health issue or something like that, me and him work together.
Now, what is it? What is his part? What does he do?
Well, he works through the health department. He inspects all the restaurants and different things like that in different places, and he deals with different property that has that people has just let go and things like that. He's got a little more authority than what I have.
I see.
And things.
Okay.
Of course, he's certified through the state to do this.
I gotcha.
And stuff. I'm just county regulated and things. But that's more his part than it is mine.
Like a health and safety.
Yeah,
inspector.
he's more the health inspector.
Gotcha.
And things
Okay.
and stuff. But that's pretty much what we do. I have had an issue in the last few days. Something I know that needs to be addressed. Something I know that is a recycling type issue, I guess you could say. I've had a lot of businesses that want us to take their cardboard and things like that. And it's not that I don't want it, but we're not equipped right now at this time to do things like that. See, everything we do has to be public accessible. We do have recycle trailers out in different places right now. We got one at the hospital. We got one over by Youth Incorporated ball field, and we have one at the Cat's Den at Farmersville. And some of these places are wanting cardboard trailers or things like that for their businesses. We cannot do that right now. Everything we have to do has to be public accessible. We can't just give you a trailer of your own. We're not really equipped for that right now. We're small staffed, and we're not really equipped to be able to pick it up and get it unloaded and get it back to you. At this time, we don't even bail our own stuff, as we've talked about before. Everything is bailed through the Women's Correctional Facility at Lyon County, and so we're kind of at the mercy of them. So when it's full, we have to schedule it, and sometimes it's 2 or 3 days before we can get unloaded, because of the size that we are, and no more manpower than we have. There's no way that we could keep everything unloaded and get it back at a reasonable amount of time ourselves.
So I have a few questions for you.
All right.
All right. So let's start with let's go ahead and start with the most recent thing. Now, last time we talked, you had mentioned that the recycling center is growing, and
We are growing.
faster than you can keep up, and you are working towards some bigger and better changes. Would that be one of the things that you might consider adding, if you get to that point?
If
is
we get
being
to
able
that point and we can grow and we can get to the point where that we can have more manpower, where that we can do things of this nature, yeah, I would be more than glad. And I don't have no problem working with anybody and trying to figure out ways that they can recycle their product, whatever they have that needs to be recycled. But with the manpower we have and the limited amount of things that we can do right now, it's hard to work with it. Now, if you can bring it to me, if you can figure out a way to bring it to me, we'll try to get you unloaded and get you out as quick as possible. Normally, we can have you out in 30 minutes to an hour, according to how much you bring, and things like that. But and I understand that a lot of businesses is not equipped to be able to haul it or bring it and things like that. I mean, I understand that, but we're not equipped to come and pick it up. So we've got to work together in some way to figure out what we can do and things.
Okay. So my next question then is, you mentioned earlier all the money goes back to Caldwell County. How do you get where does your money come from? How do you get money from the recycling center?
I've got a deal with Marion Recycle where they bring me a roll off, and I throw all my scrap metal in the roll off.
What is a roll off?
It's like a big dumpster.
Okay.
It's like a great big dumpster. It's one of these big long dumpsters that they pull up on the back of a truck and they set it on the ground, and so I throw all my scrap metal in there. Anything that people bring me, we take stoves, refrigerators, microwaves. I mean, just anything. If it's metal, we'll take it, and we throw it in there, and then he comes and picks it up, and he takes it to his recycling center, and he weighs it, and he takes a percentage of that for use of the roll off and his hauling fee, and then he writes us a check, and so we've made about I guess since we've been doing this with him, we've made about between $400 and $500, on our scrap that he's hauled. So, and then we do a compost thing every year. When the city does their leaf cleanup, they bring us their leaves, and we compost them and things. We have to follow a state regulation on that. To do that, we have to be permitted for it, and I have to have a certification to be able to do that through the state. All our compost has to be tested to make sure it has no chemicals or anything in it that could be harmful to anybody, any plants, or anything like that. And so we sell that. We sell it for $15 a bucket load out of a backhoe bucket. Average backhoe bucket is 2.7 yards. It will fill up a pickup truck. One bucket will pretty much fill up a standard long wheelbase pickup truck. Or if you want it smaller, I have a skid steer that has a little smaller bucket on it, and I sell it for $10 a bucket and things. But
and that's you sell that to the public?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Everything we do for the public. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've got some right now. It's going to be probably end of the month or 1st of June before it actually be ready to sell.
So basically, we can rake up our leaves. The city will come pick them up, and then we can go buy them back for.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, and I'll sell them back to you in dirt, but they'll be dirt when I sell them. They won't be leaves no more.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, works out, Or you can rake them up and bring them to me, and I'll still sell them back to you. It don't matter to us. I mean, we're equal opportunity.
I love it. Okay. How does compost? I mean, now we're going to switch the subject just a little bit, but how does that work? How does composting work? How do you?
Well, right now we're kind of a small composting deal, and what you do, you just put it all in a pile, and I got a great big thermometer that's about 3 foot long, and you put a thermometer in it and you check it, and composting usually breaks down between 140 and 160 degrees. Anything above that, you could get internal combustion. It could catch on fire. It's probably not likely that it would, but they say it's a possibility. So anywhere between 140 degrees or above, you just roll it over. And the temperature is what breaks it down. And plus, the bacteria in it helps break it down, and the mold and all that. But all of that stuff you want, because the bacteria and the mold and stuff like that is good for your ground. It's not anything that could harm you or make you sick or anything like that. It's all natural. So therefore it's good for your ground. So if you was to say you had a spot that you wanted to have a garden, and say the dirt wasn't very rich, wasn't a lot of things there, things didn't grow quite well in that type of dirt, whatever you have, you could take this and put it in the spring, and you could till it in, and over time it would make your dirt much more richer, and and give you a better base for your garden or flower bed or whatever. A lot of people use raised beds. They build a raised bed, and they'll come and get our compost to put in it, and things, and it works well in that. Now it's not like mulch or anything like that. It's just like dirt, and stuff. So it's very rich, and it has a lot of protein for your plants and flowers and things. So far, everybody's enjoyed it. Everybody that's used it has liked it and come back and got more.
How long have you been doing that?
Oh, probably about 4 years.
Okay.
Since I've been there.
So we just had the citywide leaf pickup. It seems like it's only been 2-3 weeks ago.
No.
Has it been longer?
No, that was
my time.
They done that last year. The citywide leaf pickup they done in the fall.
Maybe we just
you just had city cleanup.
Oh, okay.
Spring cleanup.
That's right. Okay, so they picked him up in the fall, and how long does it usually take? Typically, are they ready? Is that whatever?
According to the weather, the weather has a big emphasis on that, and we've had a wet year, so they don't break down as well in a wet year as they would in a warmer year, or not necessarily a warmer year, but in less moisture, because the more moisture they get on them, the lower the temperature stays. When they get wet, they have to start drying out before your temperature will raise up, and you want them to stay anywhere from 125 degrees to 140, 145 degrees and things. But like I say, when you get a lot of wet weather and freezing weather, like we've had this year, it typically slows down the process to a certain point. And now they're starting to break down a lot better now because the temperature's beginning to get up, and the moisture's beginning to dry up in them to a certain extent. But so to really say on an average, it varies. You really couldn't say. I've seen times that they was ready, now or before, and I've seen times that it was later in June that they was ready. So to really put a timeline on it, it's kind of.
So it's not necessarily that what you pick up in the fall is going to be ready for the spring.
Yeah.
Do you have to, see, I don't know anything about composting, so this is interesting to me. Do you have to, throw it out after a certain point? Is it no good after a certain point?
No, the longer it sits, better it is.
Oh, okay. So what you picked up 4 years ago could still be at the bottom of the pile and it's still good, right?
Well,
or you kind of mix it up.
It possibly could be, but normally don't nothing stay that long. I've got a little bit that's still left from last year, which would be better than the compost of this year. Because it's broke down a lot better. It's more dirt than it is leaves. Some of the stuff I'll sell this year will still have a few leaves left in it. It won't be completely dirt, but it'll be, I'd say, 90 to 95% dirt, and things. But actually, the longer it can sit, the better it would possibly be to a certain extent.
Well, that's interesting to me. Okay. All right, Lynn. So anything else you want to talk about the recycling center?
We're in the process of setting up what we call a tire amnesty. Tire amnesty is a time whenever we take tires from the public. We cannot take anything from a business because a business already charged a disposal fee that is implemented by the state where they have to get rid of their tires. So if you run a business of any type that you sell or buy tires or anything like that, we cannot take anything from you. But as far as farmers and people in the community, in the public, we can take tires, but we can only take standard car and truck tires. They have to be trailer tires, truck tires, car tires, and things like that. We can't take anything as far as equipment tires. We can't take tractor tires. We can't take semi tires. We can't take anything of that nature, But as far as regular to everyday tires, we can take. We can't take anything on a wheel. If you have tires on rims, I can't take them because I have no way to take the tire off the rim. So but we're going to do that later this month. Haven't quite got a date set up. It'll be around the end of the month. It'll be closer to the end of the month. I've got a piece of equipment ordered that should help me in this process to make it a lot simpler and a lot easier. And I haven't got it yet. I talked to the man yesterday. I should have it sometimes next week. So I'm going to schedule mine a little bit later so that I know that I have this piece of equipment, so that it'll make it easier on us to do our job whenever we get it.
Gotcha.
And things, but that is one of the things we do every year. We only have a limited amount of money because this is done in a grant, so people need to be aware that when the money runs out, we no longer take tires. I have a lot of issues that I schedule a date to start. Just because I say that I'm going to start on this day does not mean I won't take tires after that day.
Okay.
Now there has been times that we have had enough tires to come in one day that we couldn't take any more. But if we don't, we will take tires until our money runs out. But when our money runs out, we're done. So we have a problem that sometimes a week later, people come and say, I know y'all taking tires now. No. You need to bring them or call before you bring them to see if we are still taking them. And there's been times I've took them for a week, because we didn't fill our trailers up that quick. But, so after that first day, at least the second day, if you hadn't brought them, you need to call ahead of time to see if we are still taking them.
All right. Well, Lynn, you keep us posted on the dates.
Yeah, I will.
And we'll get that out and let everybody know that this is the date. So get out there and make it happen. Mm-hmm. If we have any questions about the recycling center, who do we call?
You can call the recycling center at 270-365-5199.
All right, Lynn. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I appreciate your time.
Mm-hmm.
That's Lynn Williams, the coordinator of the recycling center in Princeton. Stay tuned. We're going to talk to Irene Hale from the Caldwell County Animal Shelter. She's got some special shirts we want to show you.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast.
The spring weather has returned with sunny skies and a high of 60 today. Going to stay mostly clear overnight with an overnight low around 41. Tomorrow's going to be mostly sunny and a high of 69. Mostly cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low around 49. There is a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for Thursday with a high of 65. Showers and thunderstorms Thursday night with a low around 52. Again for today, sunny skies and a high of 60.
Your